Alright. We're back to it, I suppose. As soon as I can get my friggin' bearings. Yeah. I'm back at it, like a mofo. So, not certain how much justice this angle does at the size, but hopefully an indication is the size of my hand against the artwork that I'm working on. So, interesting little story. By the way, fuck the president. He's about a bitch and a half. If you support him, you should probably not. Like, it would be a good idea to stop that shit. So, anyway, getting away from the PDF files, mofos, and all the cover-up artists, what I'm doing here is concentrating on a picture I did of Samuel L. Jackson. It was on my last broadcast. I actually finished a pen sketch of it. I thought it came out really good, of Jules Winfield style Samuel Jackson. And I just thought that the image was so interesting, I wanted to try something with it. So I went ahead and pulled out some of the old Photoshop tricks, and I created a halftone version of it. And so, as you can see, this is my halftone version, because really I wanted something that had a unique look. You know, I like bold types of art. I've got a sometimes sickening obsession over, like, and I forget the style now, but well, Art Nouveau. Very graphic, very colorful, very bold, while at the same time, in a lot of ways, maintaining a lot of finesse to it. Now, the finesse, I don't particularly focus on that a whole lot, but I like the visual aesthetic of it in those other types of art. But mostly I like boldness, and I like light quality. So this picture I felt like had both of those, and I decided to do a version of it halftone. So if you don't know what halftone is, halftones are a screen tone where you use lines, dots, pretty much anything you can think of as a screen that helps indicate lighting changes. As you can see, Samuel close up is all lines. The closer you get, the less intelligible he is. But you start backing out, and it comes into focus. So, I went ahead and did the halftone. I think the halftone looks awesome. So awesome that I wanted to go ahead and make a big ass copy of it. Not necessarily a copy, maybe. It's going to be a painting, but let's not kid ourselves. I am tracing this thing fucking huge, and maybe adjust the expectations on huge, because I'm not one of those fucking, commissioned artists that gets thousands of dollars per work. Shit, I'm lucky to sell anything. But just something driving me to see how big I can get this image, and what I'm using currently to transfer it to. This is an 18 by 24 canvas that I used black gesso on quite a while ago. I had plans to do a chalk work on it, white chalk, because I used to do that a lot. I haven't gone back to that in quite a while because, oh man, well, that's part of it. when it comes down to it, these projects that I do, because I don't like really get commissions, I don't get to advertise or anything like that, don't get a whole lot of word of mouth. So I just do pretty much what I want. And, I just kind of saw this as a challenge. And I'm already figuring out ways to get this done, to do essentially a large transfer to make a painting of this. So the first thing I did was, if you can see, 18 by 20, I don't have a printer that can print that big. So I went ahead and did something called tiling. So I had to save this actually as a PDF file. After I did it in Photoshop is where I initially did the rendering of it into what you can see here. Now, when it had the lines, when it turned all screenish, and I finished with that, I went ahead and exported it into Illustrator and did image trace. So there's a version of this where it's nothing but vector graphics. And so after I did that, I cleaned it up a little bit because there were some parts of it that didn't really render that good, specifically as halftone. And so I cleaned it up, and this is the result. I exported that as a PDF because trying to print it in a tile format, and that's what I've had to do, because if you see this paper sheet that's over the canvas, that's 8 sheets of paper. So in a tile print, it just prints a piece of the picture out, and it uses, it plots that out on its own. But I can't do that in the Adobe programs. For some reason, I cannot find that function anywhere. The only instructions I see for it to do that are on older versions of Photoshop and Illustrator. However, it is very easy to find on Acrobat, and so saved it all as a ping graphic and went ahead and did the tile printing. Got it all set up and ready in Acrobat. And Acrobat, when you do a tile printing, it takes the liberty, it gives you the option to put some hashes on it. That way, if you have to cut down, you have automatic marks that are already set where, okay, this is where you cut, this is where you put these things together. So it's pretty nice that it's able to do that, because it makes something that otherwise would be not easily achievable a lot more in reach. So I guess that's a very roundabout way of me saying, humble brag, I know how to do this shit, but not really. I did train as a graphic designer some years back, and so I have these skills kind of built up that I have, not unintentionally, but have come into a lot of good use when making projects like this. So, as you can see, I am filling in the white parts. Why am I doing that? Well, because in my journeys out in the wild, back when I used to wake up in the morning, go in the forest, and find a live grizzly so I could slap it on its nose just as it was getting a hold of the fish for breakfast and run away, essentially punking the grizzly. Yeah, like I'd ever fucking do that. I ain't gonna bother the man at his breakfast. Hell no. I'd probably wind up as the breakfast. That's damn near certain. I don't think a grizzly bear would be too impressed with these artistic skills. Oh man, I think somewhere Joe Rogan just woke up and got all friggin' moist in the pants because I talked about bears. In some parallel universe. But anyway, so why am I filling these in black? Well, it's because underneath I've got a piece of tracing paper. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. Because this is going to make a lot more sense once you're able to lay eyes on it. Okay. So we're pulling away that sheet. You can see the tracing paper, and lo and behold, it is leaving lines that I fill in with a little bit of a white marker. But that white marker I'm really just kind of building up so that I can have a structure enough there to paint. And so I am gonna be going at these lines later with white paint. Ought to be pretty good looking once I'm done with it. I don't know how much is visible, but we'll see about getting as much possible. So yeah, starting to take some kind of human-ish shape there. But so that's what I'm doing. So we'll see if this works out. I may do a few more of these with other subjects. I think that would be a good thing to, accomplish. By the way, if you're actually watching, don't be shy about giving a shout out or sharing, following and subscribing, all that good stuff. Yep. So that's how it's going. Just waking up, working all day, making sure I make doctor's appointments, making sure, holy God, our air conditioner went out on Sunday. Had to have a fella come by and just to find out there was a loose wire in the mofo. Now we're sitting pretty. Now we're sitting in relative comfort, I suppose. But when you start seeing the dogs breathing heavy because they're too hot, you kind of feel an obligation to get that shit fixed. Because I don't like seeing the doggies unhappy. But yes, so this is the project of the moment. I have on the screen my little music selection that I found, and I'm really into this. I went ahead and sent an email to the people that produce this this Persian jazz, Persian noir, Iranian jazz. These are pretty awesome reimaginings and compositions. But let's go ahead and take a pause, listen to a few seconds of it. It is copyrighted, so I'm only going to listen to it for a moment or so, just in case you're curious about what it sounds like. Let's get into it. Jazzy. Oh, man. I feel like somebody could have come in with some sick-ass bars right there. Yeesh. We like it. We like it a lot. Yeah, and there's quite a few of these. And they're not the only creators. This one in particular, I emailed them specifically to ask permission, so hopefully that goes in my favor. Look at the cat. He's a bad cat. Oh, shit. Okay. Look at the goddamn title. Some creatures were born for 3 a.m. I know at least most of the people that I keep company with and have kept company with, they're those motherfuckers. That's their bag entirely. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what is this? The Pink Gentleman? No second call? Now I'm exploring. Oh, shit. This might be some of the coldest shit ever, including the Gangster Pink Panther graphic. Alright, I'm sorry. Live subscribe. Alright. Let's see if there's anything interesting in the video stuff that we can kind of peruse while I'm doing artwork and got my background tunes going. Tom Steyer. Controversial? Not sure how controversial, other than he's a million. Well, is he a billionaire? Is Tom Steyer a billionaire? Millionaire? Whichever. Rich guy. Wants to tax rich guys higher. Interesting concept. It'll get you killed in the U.S. thinking like that. What's wrong with you? Those guys earned that money. Don't touch it. Don't you ever touch it. You need to work harder. White boy lunch. Where's this brown boy lunch? I don't know if I want to go there. Old English 800. Okay, now I gotta see.
The glass 40 ounce. Sadly, we don't have these in our country anymore. They removed it from the shelf and it's discontinued. But I kept this for a reason, all right? To chug from it. We are probably the last generation that can really chug this stuff in one go. Keep in mind, these are like 8%. Very strong. Either way, let's fill this up with some beer and chug it. Like the whole thing one time.
Yeah, better get in the car, man. Oh, he's going with the Paps. Brand recognition, I guess.
First one down. Oh, no. All right, bear 3. So this is about right. That's 1.82 liters. You don't want to go any higher than that. I'm going to close it off, and then let's go on live stream and chug it.
That looks tempting. It's all nice and cold.
In the back. I got my mic here. I'm about to jump on, just stream and chug right away. That's it. That's all it. Right. All right, I'm going to try to do some.
I support this. This brings back a little bit of a flood of memories. There you go. There you go. He's snorkel burping. That's all right. That is a very niche skill. Clear his throat, it says. Dude, you're burping out of your nose. It's beastly. But see, it's beer though. That's not malt liquor. Anybody who's ever drank malt liquor knows the difference. Malt liquor tastes like burnt beer. It's heavier, it's thicker, super dense.
Oh, that's how you do it. That's how you do it, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, straight to the fucking dome. Yes, sir.
There you go. There you go. Super OG.
The glass 40 ounce. Sadly, we don't have these in our country anymore. They removed it from the shelf.
I appreciate this. AI cat fight compilation. All right, guys, I'm going to go down the rabbit hole here. I don't understand why I haven't seen this shit before. Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. What the fuck? Oh my god.
不要打了，不要打了，你们不要打了。
如画，你怎么来了？这里危险，你快走开！
西门白雪楚留咪，你们不要再打了，这都是误会。
接下来我就不客气了。你能怎么不客气？
Oh Jesus Christ.
换装照相机。
讨厌，不要了！接下来我就不客气了，每次都你不客气，这次该我不客气了。你还是太客气了。青龙斩！打完收工。
Holy shit. Masterful.
你是否在山上打败过一只外星小猫？ 你不是已经胖得走不动路了吗？哼，你没看见我的腹肌吗？接下来我可不客气了，又来这套，我也不客气。你别问，你来干嘛？接下来我就不客气了。
Soft
你
cat
能怎么
video.
不客气？
You guys are just watching me be a fucking horrible, time-wasting ADHD bastard right now. I'm fully ensnared.
接下来我
I'm here creating a big-ass piece of artwork, and I'm watching Kung Fu Cats? Fuck!
你就这两下子，怎么出来混？怎么？生气也不用
I
吃
can't
东西。
apologize for any of this.
这是什么案情？
这叫龙宫果，要不要尝尝啊？
你
God damn it! Isn't that the second time this dude's been attacked while he's drinking tea?
Let me show you my secret technique. That's it. No more playing nice. Oh? What exactly are you going to do about it? Again?
It's nefarious. God damn. Alright. So I would watch that shit on the big screen. 100 goddamn % I would.
接下来，客气，
你能怎么不客气？
我乃炼气大修士，仙法火球兽。
Alright, that's goddamn adorable.
I have arrived to bring justice to the trenches.
I am not afraid of your RPG this time. No. This time, I have a deadlier weapon.
徒儿藏好，有妖气。
Freaking bazooka.
我已经退出猫馆，如今只想重新做猫，姑娘何况苦苦相逼。
你欠下太多风流债，我奉命来给你绝育，还不乖乖束手就擒？
不好，是6套。
Okay.
Here's Johnny.
Oh, look at his banana costume.
Here's what a dog.
Shit. Is that a Yoshi costume? Oh, it's a frog.
Who did this?
He started it.
That was the practice dummy, worth 10,000 gold coins. Congratulations. Your new training begins.
What training?
Temple janitor.
These are pretty goddamn involved. All right. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Shit, I'm at a loss for words.
Who have due
We'll
to
watch this later. That's not important right now. What is important is getting back to Samuel Jackson and making sure that I've got all my lines actually lined up. Because this isn't an overly complicated piece. It's just, it's work intensive. Like, so me doing in this, coloring in all the white areas, that hits the transfer sheet underneath. And that's giving me the lines on the black canvas board underneath that we're going to be able to color in later. We're going to be able to essentially just fill in what needs to be filled in. So I thought I was really smart coming up with this, and then I realized, I'm actually doing an 18 by 24 art piece that I ain't got no business just fucking sitting up at 10 o'clock on a weeknight doing. But, you know, when else am I going to get it done? This last weekend was yard work weekend. And, taking the grandbaby to visit his great-grandma weekend. And his aunties. And the aunties were all about it. He got all sugared up. But yeah, shout out to Bic Pens. They seem to be ever present in my chosen forms of art these days. But let's face it, they were there back in the day when I'd get bored in meetings and start doodling, or in high school and I had to write notes and started doodling. So I'm pretty familiar with their capabilities, and they're my stalwart. They're my ever-present brosifs. In other news, the president has once again said that the Operation Schleppic Fury is over. Most likely because he doesn't want Congress to stop this next operation. You know, that way he doesn't have to call it all one big body of military movements that by now definitely equals war. I mean, it's the old walks like a duck, talks like a duck, sounds like a duck, shits like a duck, feathers like a duck, has ducklings. It's a fucking duck, bro. But there are some people that you still can't convince of that shit. And those are the people that'll follow a motherfucker over a cliff as long as he says there's something to catch them at the bottom. Well, there is. It's the ground. He didn't tell you he had a fucking parachute, did he? And I think it would be bad form if I didn't honestly say that at this moment, I would, after that exposure, I'm ready to go after a bunch of other AI cat videos where they're just ninjas and whatnot. We need to see some Enter the Dragon with cats. What's your style? The art of fighting without fighting. The art of fighting without fighting? Share me some of it. Don't know how accurate that voice work just actually was. But I have little imitations that I like to drop every now and then, just for good measure. I think one of my favorites. Me and a couple of my relatives that I growed up with. We have a good memory of Sean Connery slapping Harrison Ford right across his friggin' beak, saying, "That's blasphemy. That's for blasphemy." You're going to catch a fresh one from a Scotsman in his 60s. That would be the one you'd want. Because then he'd have you say his apology in Greek. In case you don't know, that's a reference to... Oh, and I just forgot the name of the fucking movie. It's an Indiana Jones movie. They go searching for the Holy Grail. It was very smarmy in parts. Some of these details on, I'm probably actually going to go ahead and paint in some of these lines. You know, if I keep it all on an even keel and make it so that I paint some of these as I go along instead of waiting until like they're all done, that it'll probably make this project feel like it's going more quickly. Alright, well that's starting to look like something. Something I could hang my proverbial hat on. As I'm starting to wreck my microphone and shit. Yeah, that's not really visible on camera so much, but I mean, I can see it. And I guess for the broadcast part, the most important thing is for you to be able to see it coming together. So we're going to go ahead with a little bit of that. And I got to take a look at this reference part. Where are we at? We're at the cheek. Very quiet. That's fine. I'm fucking concentrating. Oh, I was wondering what was going on. I forgot I left the Superman movie running. So on the main TV, we're seeing Mr. Fantastic just laying into some soldiers with his T-spheres. T-spheres for some reason sounds like one of those goddamn late night commercials they're trying to sell you on whatever Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie are pushing. For that low testosterone. Those are probably the douchiest commercials on the planet right now. They're just so, I don't know. I wouldn't say predatory. I guess they're just bald-faced. The play on insecurities is real. And I guess that's kind of most products in a way. I'm almost wanting to see if they have a YouTube channel, just so I can go over those douchebag commercials. Like, oh, you'll have a lot of energy, performance, focus. Oh, and she'll like it too. Insert random image of middle-aged woman coyly smiling, apparently just wanting to get just absolutely punished into a headboard. They may not be inferring that, but that's what I'm taking from it. Yeah, so that's starting to fill in a bit there, I think. Yep, working it out, working it out, working it out. Not bad, not bad at all. Matter of fact, I might go ahead and get brave and lay just a little tiny bit of paint there, because this is all white. This is all white. So I might as well get to it. Just a moment, people. You know, it's been so long since I painted, I'm not entirely sure I know where some of my little painting things are. I have lost my trays. What I haven't lost, though, is buttermints. So I'm going to have me a buttermint. Keep myself nice and fresh-like. Maybe a little hard for buttermints, but it's a buttermint, goddammit. All right, lords and ladies, it comes to a desperate time. And of course, being overly dramatic, because I know dang well that I have some little paint trays, but I just can't find them, so I'm going to go ahead and use a plate, paper plate, for the little bit of paint that I'm going to do. Shouldn't be anything terribly detrimental to what I'm doing, because after all, I'm just laying on some paint. Lovely, yes. as bright as that's getting. And we'll go a little bit that. There we go. As bright as that is getting, the contrast is, I think, probably responsible for most of how it's showing up. Because that white is going to get even brighter. I plan to go about 2 or 3 layers deep. All process, people. All right. Yeah, I'm being a little bit gingerly just because this is the first time I've done anything of this scale in quite a while. Let's see if we can get a better view. Well, you can kind of see there's an eye there that's starting to form up. Some little something about adjusting the way the camera looks. So yeah, comparatively, it looks like we're getting there. If you take a good look at, yeah, that's definitely going the direction I would like it to. Holy shit, I'm a genius. I didn't mean to say it that loud, but you know what? Goddamn. You can feel good about figuring some shit out every now and then. So yeah, I think this is going to be a good method for getting the results I desire on these paintings. And I do want to do some more of these. Definitely, now that I see that it works pretty good, I want to do some more layouts with other similar pictures that I can use the halftone method on. Because I think ultimately they're going to look cool up close, but from far away they're going to look, you know, really awesome. They're going to, you know, look like a photograph. And play a little trick on your eyes and draw you in as you get closer. And so yeah, as you can see, as I go in and go out, that's exactly how I would like that to go. And shit, getting that close, yeah, that's absolutely what we're getting. So Daddy gonna do it this way, man. And if you have issues with me saying Daddy gonna do it that way, I'm sorry. I apologize for fucking nothing. Anyway, what time are we at? We're about an hour in. And shit. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna take a quick little break and wash out this paintbrush, since this was just kind of exploring, making sure that this was going to actually work. Now that I know it's working, it's kind of a gloves are off time, essentially. So yeah, I'm taking a quick pause just briefly while I wash this brush, and I'm going to be back and do some more tracing, probably a little more filling in. But yeah, I'm excited about this shape now. So yeah, let's take just a quick break, and I will be back in just a moment after I wash this brush out. All right. We're back into it. And I do believe that I may feel accomplished enough to call it good and go to bed here in a minute. Well, of course, this is just about dry. I don't want to be the kind of dummy that gets overzealous and, you know, I'm like ready to put the tracing paper back on it right now. Rah rah, look at this. Oh. Yeah, we get it. You're so cool. You made an art piece-ish thing. So I'll just do a couple more lines here. Filling the bad boy out. Now that I look at that, look at that. Ah! Alright, I'm doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. Overzealous. My arrogance, my hubris, even. I warned myself about this. But here I am playing with fire, goddammit! But I guess to play it safe is kind of, well, it's not the way you should roll into something like this anyway. Because if I didn't have a little bit of that going on, I wouldn't even start it. Hopefully, if you're watching, you're enjoying kind of the process. Oh, last time I started on my stream, it's always kind of trial and error when it comes down to certain things. And I'm not talking about, well, of course, artwork is always trial and error. But I was playing a game last time that I was on called Rain World. And I was all excited for it. And then I realized it's one of those ones that you really had to grow up at a certain time to actually enjoy. Now, I'm not saying I couldn't enjoy it. I'm just not wired, predisposed in a way where it gives me any sort of motivation to continue any pursuit of it. Now, when I was a little fella, I was all about NES. So that's my speed. It's a lot more to the point. When it started getting to my nephews, I was talking about storylines and shit. I didn't know what the hell. Storylines? What is this? Garbage. Bullshit. A storyline. What has a storyline in my business? So yeah, I basically turned into Judgy McJudgerson. And that's fine, I understand. There are just some people that is some people's speed. Well, there are some things that are some people's speed. That shit is not my speed. I think the last thing I played that was my speed was goddamn God of War. Anything newer. Of course, Bro Force was plenty my speed. Unfortunately, I played it to where I can't do anything but get killed a lot and try to make it to this gigantic swirling butthole in the sky. So yeah. Let's end on that note as I go to check out Hassan. Mr. Piker has been straight up under attack. The media shills, they're all after this young man of Turkish extraction. And I think, the establishment feeling threatened by this young fella, I think it's a good thing. Because I really think it is a gut check. Because he is intellect. It's kind of unquestionable. You know he's a smart guy. He knows his shit. He seems to consume knowledge voraciously. Very principled. Stands on business. Matter of fact, I remember the week that Charlie Kirk was shot. He was kind of shook. He's like, holy shit, I was actually scheduled to debate that guy. But Hassan Piker regularly mops the floor with a lot of the bro-servatives. Because, he's very much a, fuck your feelings type of liberal young fella. Who I think, he just drags people through the mud. And it's not like that's his end game. He just, wants to give motherfuckers a moment of pause. And not necessarily the person he's discussing, but I think it's okay that he systematically just exposes people that he talks to. Nothing wrong with that.
Their social conditioning started off doing horrifying things, and then somewhere along the line changed their mentality and actively fought back against those same reactionary forces that led them astray. Okay? I don't know if Grant Plattner is that person. I have a sneaking suspicion that he might be. Having said that, the way that people cover this issue, the way that people approach the subject matter,
Tucker Carlson says he wants to meet you.
The hell was that?
I would ask, would you be on his show? But
Yeah, I watched this. He basically says, I don't know. I feel conflicted about Tucker Carlson. I've opposed Tucker Carlson my whole life. I think he should do it. I think it's unbelievably dumb not to do it. He should absolutely go on the Tucker Carlson broadcast if given the opportunity. Okay? That's it. He's not against it necessarily, but he's not against it, but he says like, oh, I have my reservations, all this stuff. And I think if we go on these shows, we should oppose some of their heinous views, which I agree. I think that he should. My only reservation here is that people will just add to the list of reasons he's a Nazi. Yeah, that stuff doesn't work. It doesn't matter. He should do it. At the end of the Sirota video, he points out the same thing you did about Tucker using backstabbing tropes of anti-Semitism control. Yes. Why go? He's already winning. First of all, there's another race happening. Okay. The idea that he's like got this in the bag is very silly, and no one should ever feel that way. It's probably campaign poison to feel that way.
Yeah.
When we set out on this campaign, I was fully convinced that working people in this state have a lot more in common with each other than they might think. We often find ourselves surprised to realize that we have almost everything in common. And in the spirit of that, we're going to sit down this morning with a Republican voter from Machias and try to find out what we agree on.
Yeah, they asked me earlier, a minute ago, why I got into politics, or how long, if I'd always been involved in politics. I haven't. 10 years ago, Trump decided to run, and he spoke my language. And I voted for him again. I voted for him 3 times because I wanted to see how he was going to continue, because I thought he was doing okay. And then this term,
What are you going to say if he turns into a Fetterman? Imagine being more mad at Tucker using anti-Semitic tropes than Plattner mass murdering people. Dog, Tucker Carlson is a media figure that defended with the maximalist racialized terms all of the wars that Graham Plattner partook in. What the are you talking about? And Tucker Carlson is white nationalist. What the?
Yeah.
Dude, what the? Like, this kind of stuff is so busted. Like, you can't be... If you're anti-Graham Plattner and you're anti-Tucker Carlson, at least you're consistent. If you're pro-Tucker Carlson and anti-Graham Plattner, you're inconsistent. You're a moron. Last time we talked about Plattner, Chatter said he was worse than Fuentes. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
He just got upset.
I can't. I don't want to. I can't. Answer the Fetterman question. I've already explained it to you. Anyone can be John Fetterman. Anyone can get brain damaged into conservatism. What the fuck are we talking about? John Fetterman is a unique case. Okay? It's so unique that if you apply the Fetterman technique, then anyone could get stroked into being a reactionary conservative.
I told my wife, I said, I'm going to vote for him this time, but he's got 1 year. He's not only not done what I thought he was going to do, he's gone.
Yes, far worse than Fuentes, the guy who volunteers is worse than an edgelord. Please don't tell me you're that dumb. Okay, is Donald Trump worse than Graham Plattner? Is Donald Trump worse than the average person that went into active duty? Donald Trump has never killed someone with his own hands. I mean, we don't know if Plattner did either. We just assume that he did. But let's say he did. Iraqis are dispensable? No. No. Yes, Trump is worse because he has executive orders. Fuentes doesn't. Oh, so it's the executive orders. So the reason why Nick Fuentes, who has dined with the president, by the way, who's at January 6th, he simply doesn't have enough motion yet. Why are you dying on this hill? Because it's an unbelievably stupid argument to craft. You're talking about a denying neo-Nazi who in a white supremacist country like the United States of America, Trump orders people to Fuentes makes jokes. I'm not saying Nick Fuentes is worse than... I'm not making the argument that Nick Fuentes is worse than Donald Trump, dumbass. I'm not saying that he has a worse impact than Donald Trump. I made the comparison between Donald Trump.
Get this.
I'm making the comparison between Donald Trump having...
I don't think it's going to happen.
Donald Trump making statements with an executive order authority, for sure, as the commander-in-chief, as you are defending a neo-Nazi. Until the neo-Nazi comes into a position of prominence, you just assume that he's not bad then. Okay? Just jokes. What the... I mean, You can't have Operation Timber Sycamore as your username and then say an active white supremacist threat. An active white supremacist neo-Nazi is not a significant threat in an active white supremacist country like the United States of America.
Angle.
Okay? Jesus Christ. Like the propaganda minister or the neo-Nazi newspapers during were prosecuted for
I'll
a good
put it right
reason,
side up.
right? They were also actively fomenting and defending the violence that was taking place, the violence that was taking shape. Guy who's like, well, Der Stormer is not that bad, actually. Like, what a stupid argument. We always end up here when we talk about Plattner. I know. Why can people not just agree to disagree about one Senate candidate? I don't know. I don't know why all these ultras handshake with Radlibs and ultra Zionists for some weird reason. It genuinely feels like it's an active psyop. It genuinely feels like a psyop. Nick Fuentes is commanding legions of fans into white supremacy, okay? Do we have to sit around and wait for them to like people or know that they have people because Nick Fuentes has actively fomented that hatred to say, oh, that's bad? You have to, because they watch Bad Empanada. I don't know.
Bad Empanada.
Holy shit, dude. Just because some bad people don't like Plattner doesn't mean he isn't bad. I just don't see it. I don't see it, okay? There are millions of people that go into the military. This doesn't mean that the military is a force for good. I certainly don't believe that. Having said that, there's something in my analysis that is missing from what people are seeing, and I haven't been able to like adequately explain it. Because people just go, oh, it's not a psyop. I just value Iraqi lives. That's it. No, you don't. You don't. Okay? You just don't. You want to feel like this is a moral choice that you're making. But if you were to ask Iraqi people if there was an anti-war veteran who went to Iraq, they would choose the anti-war veteran who went to Iraq over the person who didn't go to Iraq, who defended the Iraqi invasion and continuously defends more military incursions. That is literally the calculation that Iraqi people make. I'm an Iraqi idiot against. I said I'd vote for Plattner as the lesser evil. Oh, okay. So you'd vote for him. So you understand that voting for Graham Plattner is a far better choice than voting for Susan Collins. What you're missing from your analysis is that they are creating a record so they can point to it and say, I told you so, I told you so. I mean, maybe. It's weird because you only see this kind of behavior online and towards other leftists. I've been in a mouse organization for a long time, and IRL is completely different. We have critics of U.S. politics, but never this annoying. Yes. Anyway, the thing I was going to explain is I have a firmly held commitment to a fundamental value that many of you do not have in this community, no matter what happens, and that is, one, the idea that people can change and grow, and that nothing is like irredeemable except like, you know, I don't know, being Jeffrey Epstein or being Adolf Hitler, right? That history is riddled with people who have, due to their social conditioning, started off doing horrifying things and then somewhere along the line changed their mentality and actively fought back against those same reactionary forces that led them astray. Okay? I don't know if Graham Plattner is that person. I have a sneaking suspicion that he might be. Having said that, the way that people cover this issue, the way that people approach the subject matter is so out of whack for some weird reason. Yeah.
So as you can see, this is where we leave this. We are 10 minutes to midnight. I've got to say my position on Graham Plattner. You know, he had a tattoo that he said was, he didn't know it was a Nazi tattoo. I do have a bit of a hard time believing that. That said, what he's saying when I've listened to things that he goes into and talks about, as opposed to policies that are in play in his state and nationally right now. Graham Plattner, the platform is solid, and he's won the nomination. He doesn't got support from the company, the establishment Democrats, which Like, we do need to be done with those fuckers. Like, there's the big tent thing. Sure. But the big tent thing means that these motherfuckers need to get fucking real and understand that as long as they're duplicitous, they're going to lose elections. They're going to lose elections. The motherfuckers shouldn't even be there for careers anyway. So, like Hakeem Jeffries, he's got to fucking go. Schumer, automatically, needs to fucking go. All of the people that are actually leaving Congress, they should already be gone. They should have been gone. And being afraid of progressivism is just, it's, on its face, it's ridiculous. Because it's nothing but engineered buzzwords that make people scared. They've spent their whole lives being afraid of words like collectivism or socialism, and they don't even know what it fucking means. They think what it means is government taking shit by force and distributing it. In other words, keeping it all for themselves. Which, I don't know if you checked, motherfuckers, but that's what we're on our way to with the people you voted for. So, how about we give a shot to the people who are actually thinking about people, not thinking about corporations, not thinking about business. You know, I understand fully. Businesses have to do business. They got to make money. But with all the wealth that's been built over generations of work, and let's not kid ourselves, a lot of that wealth was built on the backs of people who were not paid what they were worth or had no share at all. They didn't benefit from the work they were doing because they did it either, you know, under pain of whip or, you know, for criminally low wages and abuses that went along with that. So, you know, let's not patty cake the fucking shit. We built that wealth too. All of us did. And these motherfuckers at the top sponging it up, buying government officials and judges and doing dirty tricks like gerrymandering so that they can keep the fucking racket going, which really it is racketeering. Like, you know, there are probably sweetheart deals going on left and right between government officials, business people, judges, whatever, that when it all airs out, you're going to feel like suckers. And like cleaning out this left side has to be the priority. And so the corporate motherfuckers got to go. There's, you know, we get the Mamdanis, Plattner, if he used to be a white supremacist and he's recovered. There are plenty of guys that mature out of shit. A lot of people do. Graham Plattner is not someone who you look at right now and can think that he's unserious. The way he speaks about shit is the way things ideally you would want a politician to be. He doesn't really have an interest in politics except for the good he can do for other people. So, and that's what we need more of. Not somebody who is trying to leapfrog their way towards a presidential nomination. Need somebody who wants to do good for their own community and benefit the country that they live in. So, yeah, fuck the rest. Let's start getting in, supporting people that support us back. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and call it a night because I've had my fill of victory, I suppose, here. Understanding that my project that I'm trying to construct is in fact a solid method to get something like this done. So that's where we're going to leave it, baby. Anyway, it is now 5 minutes to midnight. Shout out to Iron Maiden for that shit. And I'm going to call it good. I hope whoever showed up tonight enjoyed what you saw. If you're new, give us a like, give us a follow. Let us know how you feel. Send us a message if you've got questions or suggestions or a desire to collaborate, whatever the fuck. If you want to tell me I'm stupid for talking politics at all while I'm making awesome pictures. Yeah, I guess that's in bounds. But anyway, yes, we're calling it a night. And so I think I'll be on maybe 2 more times this week, hopefully, because it's been a long time since I've been able to do that. But yeah, I do want to stay committed to making this artwork, making my platform viable, and starting to push for some sales or even just helping people out who want to get more into art or just enjoy watching somebody else make art. All of it's good. Anyway, wherever you're at, take care of yourself, take it easy, stay safe out there in these trying times, and you guys all have a good night. All right, we will see you guys very soon. Thanks for being with me.